especially about what's going on in Egypt. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Van Daden and Mr. Mulder, for giving me this opportunity to talk about what's going on in Egypt. Within the Islamic nations, Egypt is the only Muslim country to have an important number of Christians, with at least 12 million Copts. They still maintain some of the ancient pharaonic civilization through their everyday customs and through their church Coptic language, which is the last version of the pharaonic language. The Copts represent an obstacle to the radical Islamists who are dreaming to establish the great worldwide Islamic Caliphate nation. A radical Islamist does not represent the real Egyptian Muslim behavior, who is extremely tolerant and respectful to his Christian compatriot. Radical Islamists are the Salafists and the Muslim Brothers who set strategic plans since many years to get rid of the Christian Copts by persecution and different means to encourage them to migrate and leave the country. Persecution doesn't mean to kill only. Besides killing, attacking, marginalizing, humiliating are the strategic tactics applied. Kidnap the girls, destroy the churches and Christian buildings, attack isolated monks in the desert, prevent from top state jobs, exclude them from the country's political scene, only 2 deputies out of 500 for years, which is even less than 0.5%. Eliminate from high ranks position in the military, police, intelligence service, and so on. Forbid from entering the gynecological department in medical faculties because a Christian should not see a Muslim woman giving birth. Impose veil for girls. Cut the ear of a Christian man publicly in the street to show the Sharia punishment for renting an apartment to a woman said to have bad behavior. Get rid of all porks, 400,000 killed in 3 months. Apply for authorization from the government to repair a church toilet. Ask a presidential decree for a church building authorization and then wait for 20 years for the construction permit, if you ever get it. Islamize the street names if they could sound Occidental or Christian. Do not bring to justice anyone from criminals against Copts. So apart from killings, isn't that be called persecution? One of the radical Islamists' horrible means is the kidnapping of Coptic women and minor girls. Women kidnapped, drugged, raped, converted by force to Islam, forced to marry and prevented forever to see her family again. Slavery. Few girls have succeeded to escape, and they tell their horrible experience. As an example, Angie Adel, witnessing in circulating video, in Arabic-speaking video on the net. Angie was 12 when she was kidnapped. Today, she's 18, out of Egypt, but she counted 2 years ago. I went out from school and was followed by some young people. They pushed me in a taxi and used the vaporizer, so I lost conscience and woke up to find myself in an apartment. A lady with 2 other girls introduced me to a man named Sultan. He took me in a room, tied my arms on my back and raped me. 4 other men raped me, one after one. Each one seemed to have the desire to cut my body in pieces as if I was his enemy and hates me. For 1 month I was beaten and had a lot of blue marks. I was unable to eat, drink, or sleep. All they wanted was to give me drugs and rape me. For 2 consecutive days, 5 men stayed in the room and raped me. I was awake, unable to sleep 24 hours a day. She went on the video crying. More than 50 men during these months have raped me. Then my father succeeded in finding me and I came back home. The police security asked me to come for interrogation. The officer only beat me so hard with his feet in my stomach and my back, pulled me from my hair and treated me as a street girl. They wanted to force me to say that I left my family by my own will and nothing of these stories happened. I was only 12 when this happened. Why all this? Only because I am a Christian. Now, she said, crying, now everybody around me thinks I am a bad girl. The father said, I succeeded alone to bring back my daughter. The police have done nothing, was of no help, and I do not have the right to beat her. She has done no fault. These barbaric acts are executed according to a well-elaborated methodology by people who are convinced to be doing good for Allah by bringing a kafir infidel woman to Islam. The number of Copts will therefore decrease, and the number of Muslims will increase, since by law the children follow the religion of the father. And as a reward, the gang, the organizers, the kidnappers, the men to marry, the accomplice police who covers up, they can share money coming from the petrol Gulf countries. One girl could bring up to $50,000. But this is also done because of other reasons. Poverty, high number of illiterates, 40% of the population are illiterate. Education of hate at school. Speeches at the mosques of fanatic imams. Complicity of low-ranks policemen. But most of all, the unpunishment. Since in the Oriental culture, taking away a girl's virginity means taking away the whole family's honor. Mr. Berder talked about the honor, the sharaf, the honor of a girl or a family. So the plan aims at either kidnapping or sexually compromising Christian girls to humiliate them. A psychological effect on the girls is that she becomes a shame to her family. A conversion to Islam becomes the solution to the problems. Besides the girl who loses her will, the family is destroyed by never seeing their daughter again. They are also covered by shame, condemned by their social environment. The Muslims claiming the girl came only by her own will in a love story, and some Christians reproaching not having taken care enough of their daughter. A process leading to humiliation of the Coptic community as a whole in front of the supremacy of Islam. The kidnappings of minor girls are not simple individual love stories between Christian girls and Muslim boys. Of course it happens, but most of the cases are not. The topic has been investigated by journalists such as Figaro Magazine, Marie Claire, and others. If you could show the PowerPoint, please, Mr. Yanis. Okay, you can see, I can't. So you can see some of the pictures that have been on the internet since 2009. You have about 30 girls kidnapped and never found again. Next slide, please. So Figaro Magazine, last July, talked about this. So it's not just, they have done a report by making many interviews. The next one. One mother suffering. Second one, please. Another one. And on Marie Claire, in last August, a second interviews. Yes, next one. Yeah. The pictures, talked alone. So that's the bed of the girl who disappeared, and nobody enters the room anymore. Okay, next one. This is the last one, maybe you cannot see it, but this is a lawyer who sent it to me. It's a list of 30 persons. They are not the same 30s that you have seen. That's another one. You can see the names and ages, and also the number of the complaint at the police station. But this never reaches the tribunal. It remains in the drawers of the police station. Okay, thank you. You have to make it more quickly. When you are the last speaker, you have to. So I jumped a few things that I have been trying to say. We have to go to the future. You know, what happens? What is the solution to all that? Just to summarize, when I was a young boy, we didn't have this type of problems between Christians and Muslims. This is a result of 30 years of Mubarak. It started with Sadat, with his putting in the constitution the Sharia law, and taking away the Muslim brothers from the prisons. And then with Mubarak, he was only interested of his power and getting money, and he left the Egyptian society in the hands of these fanatic people, the Muslim brothers and the Salafists. So the society is completely infested with a culture of hate. But now, on the revolution of 25th of January, the young boys, the young revolutionaries have claimed, you know, the equality between everybody. And then the revolution was confiscated by the Muslim brothers. And unfortunately, as Mr. Mandalin said, he was in Egypt last week, 2 weeks ago. The second revolution occurred, and they got rid, after 1 year of power, they got rid of them because they discovered very quickly that the interest of Egypt is not their interest, and it's only for that, the power and the worldwide caliphate. So we have now a chance, a big chance of having a government, secular government. Of course, El-Sisi, who asked Morsi to go away, he became a hero and is claimed by the majority of the Egyptians to become the next president. But we just have done the first step of a roadmap, a timed roadmap. First step is a constitution. And the constitution gave a lot of articles respecting the minorities, the freedom of religion, and the right of Christians to be in the next parliament. They were talking about one article, Christians and handicaps to be well represented in the parliament. Okay, they mixed the Christian with handicaps, but at least they have put the Christians in the article. So what we are asking is the support of the European Parliament to the current government and what is coming next, which we hope will stay as secular. We would ask also Mrs. Atiba Davis, who I'm the chance to meet her, to see what the International Criminal Court can do. You know, the courts in Egypt, you know, all these cases, there are almost 10,000 cases. 10,000 kidnapped girls disappear. What can we do? It never reached the courts. And lastly, we will say to the Egyptian government that unless Copts and Coptic women and girls are protected, Egypt will not be strong, will not be stable, and will not be a successful democracy with the rule of law. Thank you.